lovely, beautiful people. I'm Nick. Welcome to Food on the Run, where I make beautiful meals out of my hotel room. So today we're in downtown sunny San Diego, and we're going to do some shopping. And I'm going to make a beautiful blackberry brie grilled cheese sandwich and pair it with a nice tomato soup. Mwah! Let's go. Come along with me. Most of my ingredients I get from one place. This is my friend Nick DeFabio. And I'm gonna grab some basil for my tomato basil soup. I'm gonna say about three of these, and I'm gonna mix it actually with canned tomatoes. So I'm gonna half plum tomatoes, half canned tomatoes. And let's do a bulb of garlic. I like to use shallots in my soup, and not onions, because I feel like shallots have just a better flavor. So I'm going to grab about 5 of these. Alright, I got my blackberries. Sometimes I'll use frozen, but in this case, why not use fresh? It tastes better. The frozen is cheaper. We're trying to stay cheap. And I got my brie. Blackberries and brie. Perfect combination. And then for a nice croissant, a big one. Sometimes we could go with a brioche or a challah, which is like just as good and buttery, but today we're using the croissant, so why not? Big fat one. Boom! Alright guys, I got my groceries. Now I'm gonna go up to my room and make magic. Follow me. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm in my hotel room. So I live on the road. I'm on a musical tour, so I find it a constant battle, especially among all the fast food choices around, to find something really good, really nutritious, that's going to fill me up. So I thought it would be a cool idea to see if I could just take care of what I needed to do in my own room with what I have. So I'm going to make for you today a blackberry and brie grilled cheese sandwich and a tomato basil soup, using an iron that I fashioned tin foil around so the grease doesn't get on it, so when I press my clothes there's no grease, and a blender that I use every single day to make my kale smoothies, and I'm going to use a coffee maker, and I bring this kettle around everywhere. I'm gonna do a little hot water submersion with this. So these are what I'm going to do, and let's start cooking. Okay. So I have my tomatoes. Most of them are chopped up already, but let's just do another rough chop. Okay? Alright, most of them are pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to put them into a bag, and I'm going to do a hot water submersion, which basically is going to heat them pretty well with just under boiling water, and that's about 155-ish degrees. Okay? So I'm going to use all these tomatoes and half canned tomatoes. So it's really about half and half. I'm just going to pour the whole thing in. And then I have about 2 shallots that I roughly chopped up and 2 garlic cloves that I roughly chopped up. So I'm tossing those in. Get the rest of those in there. Olive oil. With this much, I'm going to do about, a couple good glugs. Maybe more than a couple. Alright? And then salt. There's already salt in the can. If I was just using regular ripe tomatoes, I would use salt like more than I probably would think I need. But because I'm using half can, I'm just going to give it, a few good turns. And you could always go back and salt more, so but you can't take it back. So don't salt too much. And then I'm going to get a few bits of pepper in there. All right. This is going to be tomato soup. Are you ready? Okay. So this is my hot water. And right now, I'm going to go pour this over the soup in my sink. And while that's cooking, it's going to take about, I would give it about 20 minutes. I'm going to start working on my grilled cheese. So come along, join me in the bathroom. So I just boiled this. It's on the boil. You can see it's good and steamy. And I got all this in here. At the end, I'm going to put basil in before I blend it because the basil can get too cooked and I want this freshest tasting basil as possible. Okay, so I'm just going to put this, I'm going to clog up my drain and I'm going to pour it over. Normally, the sous vide method is basically to suck all the air out of it. So you vacuum it all out in order to keep the juices in there. So what I do is I just keep it like this. Put it down and I just roll it, and then it's the best I can do. It's not perfect, but it still gets the trick. It still does the job, you know? Yeah. I'm pouring my hot water over it. That's gonna cook. I'll just leave it in there. Hey guys, okay, so the tomatoes are steaming away. Now I'm going to get working on my grilled cheese, all right? So my iron's hot. It's nice and hot. I'm just going to put a couple rashers of bacon on here. And now you have to be careful with an iron. All irons are a little different and they heat up, but you can already tell, I can already tell it's sizzling right now. So I'm going to give that a minute. All right? While those are cooking, plus you have to find a nice place for it to rest. Alright? And make sure you make a little bit of a barrier so the oil doesn't spill out. You don't want that to happen, that would be bad. Okay, so I'm going to get working on my grilled cheese. Alright? The sides, the back is buttered, so I'm just going to put a layer of nice melty brie. Get it good on there. Okay. Now I have these blackberries. Oops. Blackberries, alright? So, I'm just going to slice them in half. Just rough, you don't have to be neat about it. You know, a good handful for a sandwich. We're just making a sandwich here, we're not making for a lot of people. So, get the brie. I'm just going to pour our blackberries on. I like things rustic, so it doesn't need to be pretty. Because at the end of the day, it's just all going to fall out anyway. It's going to be oozy and beautiful and taste so good. Finishing my blackberries. Oh, they're so good. And then, look at these. That was all from an iron. I mean, you can't get better than that. Who knew? Alright, so I'm going to layer these on here like this. 2 should be fine unless you're a big bacon lover. Alright. And then I'm just going to close her up. Remember, it's buttered on both sides. Okay? Now I can use the bacon fat in there too, but I'm just going to use a little bit of butter. These little butter packets that come with your hotel room. So, or usually you'll find them in like the buffet or the continental breakfast area. I'm just going to take a little bit of this, put it on here. Okay, it's already bubbling. I'm going to take my sandwich. And I'm going to lay it on like that. This is going to take a little bit longer than a skillet, so you have to be patient. I can already hear it bubbling. Okay, I just flipped it. It takes about 15 minutes on each side, so just be a little patient. You'll know because it's nice and golden crispy. and the cheese is going to start melting. So while this is cooking on the other side, I'm going to grab my soup and I'm going to blend it up in here. And then after that, it's going to be smooth, and it has to be smooth completely before it goes through this. So just make sure. And when I get my bag out, I didn't want to put these in because I like the taste of fresh basil the most. So I'm going to toss my basil in. Alright, so I have my soup, and you can tell, I mean, just in nice 150-degree water, it's already starting to break down. So it looks really good. I'm going to toss my basil in there. Give it a good mix with my hands. And I also have my bouillon cubes, the same hot water that I put in the sink. I mixed it about 2 cups in this bowl that I carry around with me everywhere. So, carefully as possible. I can already smell it. Just the basil and the garlic and the shallots and tomatoes, it's just so nice. Okay, so we're going to do it in batches because this is small, but I'll just do one batch for now. And you could just kind of eye it, you know, about a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of the stock, and then about, you know, a little more than halfway full. And you'll just want to pulse it a few times. This is a very basic blender. A lot of people have the Ninjas and other blenders that will just completely pulverize in about a matter of like 10 seconds. Not even, 2 seconds. Alright, tomato soup's looking awesome. Let's see how it tastes. There's my soup spoon. Beautiful. Actually, it doesn't need much more of anything. Okay, so now, carefully, this only takes about a mug full. This is a small coffee maker. So, as I get through here, I'm going to put my bowl on the other side, and I'm heating it up. And that'll take about 5 minutes to get nice and warm. So by the time this is poured out into here, the sandwich will be ready, and we're gonna rock and roll. We did have a few troubles because it wasn't as pureed as possible, so just make sure that when you're blending it, that there's no chunks at all, otherwise it's not gonna go through. So the soup looks good. I'm gonna try it. It's awesome. So, I'm going to pour it into here. My bacon, crumble it on top. Take my sandwich off, it's still hot. Alright, we took the sandwich off. It's crispy, it's a little extra flimsy, so just be careful that you have it with 2 spatulas. Alright, I'm just going to cut it up. It's beautiful. It's oozy, it's thin, it's buttery, it's beautiful. Alright guys, there you have it. Classic combination, grilled cheese, tomato soup together. I can't wait to try this thing. It's so easy, you can do it in your hotel room. It's so good. You don't even need, a lot of people put extra sugar and lemon to help like bring the notes out of the blackberry, but it's so good. Soup is awesome. You can pay 15 bucks for the soup in a restaurant. So good. That's it guys. Thanks for watching. Tune in for more Food on the Run from my hotel room to yours. Ciao.